Imagine a frozen morning in 1855. The English countryside of Devon lies blanketed in fresh snow, a quiet, untouched white stretching across fields and villages. The air is crisp, the kind that bites at your fingertips, and the world feels still, too still. Then as the sun creeps up, people step outside and see something that turns their blood to ice. Footprints. Strange cloven-hoofed tracks carved into the snow, stretching for miles. They call them the Devil's Footprints, and more than a century later, no one can explain what left them behind. It starts in the early hours of February 8th. A heavy snowfall had swept through Devon the night before, leaving everything coated in a thick, pristine layer. By dawn, villagers in places like Exmouth and Topsham noticed the tracks, small, hoof-like prints, about 4 inches long, pressed deep into the snow. At first, they think it's nothing, just some animal wandering through the storm. But then they keep going, and going, over fences, up walls, across rivers. The footprints don't stop, and they don't make sense. These weren't random trails. They stretched in a single, unbroken line, some say up to 100 miles, snaking through more than 30 villages. Imagine waking up to that. A path of eerie prints cutting through your backyard, past your windows, right up to your doorstep. They were spaced evenly, almost too perfect, like whatever made them wasn't scrambling or wandering. It was walking. And here's the part that gets under your skin. Witnesses said the snow around the tracks looked melted, as if something hot had burned its way through. People started talking. Farmers, priests, shopkeepers. Everyone had a story. One man found the prints climbing the side of his barn, straight up to the roof, then down the other side like gravity didn't matter. Another saw them cross the River Exe, a wide, icy stretch, without breaking stride. Impossible for any creature they knew. A woman in Dawlish swore she saw them stop at her garden wall, then pick up again on the other side, as if whatever it was had leapt over in a single bound. By midday, the villages were buzzing with panic. Newspapers like the Times sent reporters rushing to Devon, scribbling down every detail. Sketches of the prints hit the pages. Small, cloven hooves, split like a goat's but sharper, more deliberate. Some said they looked like a donkey's tracks, but donkeys don't climb walls or cross rivers in a blizzard. Others pointed to the sheer distance, 100 miles in one night. No animal could do that. Not naturally. Theories spread like wildfire. The simplest minds said it was a prank, someone with a hot iron stamping hoof marks in the snow. But who could cover 100 miles in a single night through a storm without being seen? Others blamed animals. Maybe a kangaroo escaped from a zoo, hopping through the countryside. Except kangaroos don't have cloven hooves, and no one reported a missing one. Scientists later guessed it could have been mice or rabbits, their tiny tracks distorted by melting snow. But mice don't march in straight lines for miles, and rabbits don't burn the ground they touch. Then there were the darker whispers. The ones people didn't dare say too loud. The footprints looked too much like a devil's hoof, cloven and sinister, straight out of old legends. In 1855, Devon was still a place of superstition. People remembered tales of demons stalking the moors, leaving marks to claim the land. The night had been unnaturally quiet. No wind, no owls, just a stillness that felt wrong. Some swore they'd heard things before dawn. A faint tapping on their roofs, a low growl carried on the air. One farmer found his dog trembling by the hearth, refusing to step outside, as if it sensed something circling the house. Days passed, and the prints didn't fade like normal tracks should. Even as the snow melted, they stayed crisp, etched deeper than the rest, as if defying the thaw. Villagers gathered in churches, praying for protection. Hunters took to the fields with rifles, tracking the path, but it always led nowhere, vanishing into the woods, or stopping dead at a wall. A few nights later, some claim the prints came back, shorter trails appearing outside barns and cottages, like whatever it was hadn't left. No one ever found the culprit. The newspapers moved on, the scientists shrugged, and Devon tried to forget. But the story stuck, passed down in quiet corners, told over flickering fires. Was it a hoax that got out of hand? A freak of nature we can't explain? Or did something darker walk that night, leaving its mark on the snow and the people who saw it? The devil's footprints remain a mystery, a shadow cast across history that refuses to fade. Next time you're out in the snow, take a look around. If you see a line of cloven tracks stretching into the distance, perfect, unbroken, impossible, don't follow them. You might not like where they lead. That's it for this Creep Nuggets. If this left you checking your backyard, hit subscribe for more creepy history that'll keep you up at night.